Hi there, it's Jane Birkinshaw from Love Your Lens here. First of all, I'd like to wish you a very happy new year, and secondly, I'd like to apologise for being a little bit late with posting this critique. For those of you who are new to us, every month I set a photographic challenge, a theme, and then you submit your pictures and I pick out some of my favourites early on in the start of the next month and I record this video. The one that we're looking at here was the theme for November and it was unscripted. Now what I meant by that was that you should take pictures that were definitely more candid, unposed, kind of documentary style, but still well captured, a good composition, sharp, the right exposure, etc. And that they told a real kind of genuine story with a real emotion. It was quite a difficult challenge, but you all rose to it very well in the end. This collage here is the ones that I've picked out as my favourites, or they've got something that I could comment on that you may find useful. So I'll talk you through these, and then at the very end I'll try to pick out a favourite. Okay, so first of all, we've got a couple of shots that I would say they tell a good story. You know immediately why the person who captured it has taken it and what they were trying to say. But in terms of composition and perhaps light and things like that, they're not quite as strong as some of the ones that are going to come along afterwards. So the one that we're looking at now made me smile. It's by a new member called Molly Liz. Unscripted moment, perfect for the brief of an elf having a break, looking at her mobile phone or whatever it is she's doing, completely gone out of character, it made me smile, but as I say, in a moment when you see some of the other shots you'll realise why I've included it, but it's not going to be quite as strong as some of the others. And in a similar vein, this one by Catherine Hall, again made me smile. Two biddies at the Christmas market, sitting down for that warming hot chocolate, it looks like, really enjoying it, by one of the stalls. You know exactly where you are, you know what's going on, you know it's Christmas, and it's a little candid, sweet moment that makes you smile. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Catherine. And then we've got another one. Now, the more I looked at this, the more I liked it. Again, a bit of a quick snapshot, Ray, but I think sometimes that's the beauty of it, isn't it? You see the moment and you take it quickly. So I think what I particularly like about this is these four people here are really in contrast to this very movementful picture with so much going on in it. I'm sure it's a masterpiece by somebody. I'm a complete ignoramus in the world of art, but it's obviously a great masterpiece, and it's full of action, so much going on, and these four, none of them are looking at it. These two are having a bit of a natter. This one I think is probably looking at a phone and he's peering at what she's looking at. So it's a great candid moment, a real good fit for scripted. I like the way that you framed it, Ray, and it did make me smile the more I looked at it. Then we've got this one that I really did like it. It's from Nicola Tracy, again one of our newer members, and in some ways it was exactly what I was looking for unscripted. These unguarded, innocent moments of childhood where, you know, she's got toys lying around. What does she want to play with? She wants to be in a cardboard box and she's pretending she's driving or whatever. We've all seen kids doing this. I love the fact that you've put it into black and white. I love the fact that you've included background kind of stuff and clutter to give it context. The composition's quite nice with your character off centre. You've got a little bit of blurred motion there, probably from a shutter speed being slightly too low, but I love the overall very natural feel about it, Nicola, and the story that it's telling. We've then got this picture by H.L. Wilson. I think that's Helen. It really caught my eye. I just liked the very natural emotion in it and the feel of movement. You feel as if she's just whizzed her head round really fast, and in that fleeting moment as she turns to look at you, you've caught that look of happiness, a look of there's a relationship and emotional context, isn't there? And aside from that, we know where we are. We're on an autumnal cold walk, and this young lady is really enjoying it. So just a great simple little capture there, and I really like it. So thanks, Helen. Then we've got this one by Sheena Hatton. Again, another unscripted moment of childhood that we've all either enjoyed doing ourselves or we've witnessed it happening. And it's simple, there's no distraction, we know what's going on, and there's a kind of emotional connection. It's nothing more than that. Sometimes it can just be as simple as that. So thanks for that, Sheena. Then we get on to this shot by Maxine Rhodes. Now, she's a very new member. This might even have been her first post, and she expressed a kind of awe for everybody else's pictures. And that's one of the reasons I included it, but not only because of that. I really do like the shot, actually, and what she's captured as an unscripted moment. I like the composition of it. It's almost divided into different areas. I like the story it's telling. A hot sunny day somewhere with a cat caught silhouetted catnapping in the sun and enjoying itself. There's kind of a sort of balance going on here with this sheet and then this area here. So I think you've underestimated yourself a little bit there, Maxine. I think you've got an eye for a picture, you understood the brief, and you've captured it. So keep them coming. Keep on posting those pictures. Okay, then we've got this one by Jude Parkin, which I really liked. Just the story. Oh, sorry about this. This is this little program called Picasa that I'm using. My mouse gets a little bit lively. So we've got this chap here who's the point of focus. We clearly know it's him that we're supposed to be looking at. I mean, I'm guessing this is an archive shot, Jude, unless we had a particularly warm day in November. But anyway, I've included it because I liked the position of the main character being where he is. I love the fact that you've rendered it in black and white. But it's another image that gave me a few reasons to point out some things on composition that could make the image perhaps a little bit stronger. So I hope you don't mind me using you as a guinea pig, Jude. I think I'll come on to one of your other images in a moment, so don't worry. One of the first things here for me is, very slightly sloping horizon. I've actually only just noticed that, but that can easily be corrected. I mean, this is just Picasa, but if I can't remember how to do this. Oh, that's it. It's with that tool there. You can just, I went going the wrong way, making it even worse. You can just correct your horizon slightly with certain tools if you wanted to. So you'd get that effect, but I'm just going to undo that anyway. Then also, can you see how on the horizon these objects here are all touching the horizon, and what that's called is lack of separation. And ideally anything that you've got in your picture should not be touching the horizon. It should stand proud of it, i.e. you should have separation. It should be well below it or intentionally above it, and to achieve that all you do is change your height. So you go a bit higher or you go a bit lower, and you'll get those things to break up and break out of the horizon line rather than sitting right on it. And the other thing that I felt that this picture could benefit from is a slightly different crop. So just to show you what a difference it makes, crop out that guy in the high-vis jacket there because he's not really relevant to the story, and maybe bring it down a little bit so you've not got quite such a big expanse of sky, and then your eye goes more immediately to this guy here because we're not distracted by this space here. Now these things are always subjective, and it's entirely over to you, but I'm just suggesting what I might have done taking that image. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Jude. I do like the story. I like the black and white. I like the textures and everything, and it fits the brief. So well done for that. Then we've got this image by Sophie Mallon. Now there's a few images along the same theme here of people being observed doing something. And this guy here, I mean, the textures and everything on him are fantastic. Just, I think the fact that he's got this fur as well really makes a difference to what you're looking at, and the interest of it and everything. Now you've really processed this shot, Sophie. People will have different takes on that. They'll decide whether they like it or not. For me, it's slightly overdone, but I am aware it's an artistic effect, and it's very much in the eye of the beholder or the eye of the shooter. You can see how much it's done here, where it's made the sky very, very processed, and I can just tell by the way that every single texture is really standing out in relief. But having said that, I like what it's done to the hood round here, and I like the candid sort of shot of this guy. He's quite an interesting chap, looking at his phone. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Sophie, and keep on posting. Now, I think the next 6 images could all be my favourite this month. I did finally pick one because I kind of have to, but I just want you to bear in mind from these 6 onwards, I think they're all fantastic shots. So we've got another one by Jude Parkin here. I mean, this guy, if you're going to go and do some street photography and look for interesting characters, I mean, he ticks all the boxes, doesn't he? Fascinating character, great lines in his face, very weathered. His clothes, his jewellery, everything about him is fantastic. The background is great. I even like this bit of graffiti here. And rendering it in black and white to really bring out that detail and texture and just make you focus on him. His expression, his kind of vacant stare. I mean, to take that kind of shot actually takes quite a bit of guts, and I think you've done it brilliantly, Jude, so well done. Really great shot. Then this one, I mean, this is great. This is by Liz Kenny. In an unguarded moment, this lady's taking a break, and the subject matter has been pulled out by keeping it in colour and making the rest in black and white. Looks like she could be looking at a baby or something. She's got a glass of water there. She's just stopped for a moment. Everything about this shot is completely candid, and I really like it. It tells a great little story. Sorry. So yeah, well done, Liz Kenny, for that one. Absolutely spot on for the brief. Really nice moment. Then we've got this one by Vicky, and I think somebody said it in the comments. The composition is just fantastic. So the composition, what we're liking about that is this line of the 3 boys, and then this shadow is perfect. This complete uninterrupted shadow there. Then you've got the story and the emotion that it generates. Again, we seem to have a nice thing about kids playing unscripted. This could be timeless, couldn't it? It could be the 60s. Kids in wellies on the beach, no matter what the weather, getting mucky, and enjoying climbing. So the story, the composition, you've captured that really well. It's nice and sharp. The colours are balanced and everything, Vicky. So that's what starts to make some of these shots stand out above perhaps some of the earlier ones. I loved this one when Alan put it on. Again, similar comments to the one before. The composition is great. This line of people, this interesting line of the whatever it's called. I've forgotten the word now. Is it groins? It always makes me laugh. And then the wild sea behind the context, the story, the sharpness of it, the colours and the textures. It's just great. The connection between the people. These three are obviously all together. These guys may or may not be with them, but it doesn't matter. It all adds to the story. So fantastic job there, Alan. Really nice job. And again, you know, the quality of your photography, you know, and of the last few I've talked about is what makes these really jump up into the favourites collection. Oh, this shot. Now, this I really wanted when I first saw it. I really wanted this to be my favourite. This is by Val Pallister, and on its own, without knowing the background story, it is quite a nice story. You can tell that this is a dearly loved family member who is very poorly, potentially. I mean, you gather that from the fact that she's obviously got a sick bed set up in a room that isn't normally a bedroom, and you know, she's very cosily wrapped up. But what made this for me was the story that Val told beforehand, where everyone was gathered around her, pretty worried about her basically, and then you know, they're all kind of like hanging on, waiting to see what's going to happen, and then she wakes up and demands a coffee and a Baileys, I think it was, which was, you know, and the family will remember that moment forever. They'll be talking about it for years to come. And I love the whole story. It makes you realise, though, sometimes the picture isn't the whole story. So the picture told a certain amount, but the bit about waking up and demanding the Baileys and coffee really polished it off. So I think in a way that's probably why I've not put it as the absolute favourite, Val, but I did really, really love it. So well done. And a lot of people loved that image too. You struck a chord with a lot of people with that one. So on to the one that I finally chose as my favourite, because I kind of have to, and it is such a subjective thing. You guys may well have a different favourite to me, and that's absolutely fine. I chose this one. I just there's so much going on in it. This wonderful moment between these two characters here. The way she's sat, what she's wearing, her bag. I mean, nothing's coordinated. Well, to be fair, her jerkin is with her dress. But the way she sat, her comfy shoes, a bag. A bag's hilarious. Handbags obviously mean a lot to her, and all the little adornments and everything. And then this guy here, nice and dapper and smart in his blue, with his matching blue umbrella with the price still on it here. There's just so much going on in one simple picture, and it's a real unscripted moment. You know, he's laughing at what she's saying, and then it's against this unobtrusive, knocked back background. And I think some of you know what I'm going to say here, and oh god, it's really got the jumps today, hasn't it? Yeah, crop it. That's all I'd say. Just crop it like that and get rid of that bit of distraction there, because we didn't need that. So, but honestly, Janet Pope, well done, a fantastic shot. So, yeah, well done to everybody. Thank you so much for posting. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll shortly be posting one for our theme, which was celebration in December. Thanks for being patient with me.